Jim, where do your frustrations lie after that one?
Listen, we're always disappointed not to win here at home in front of our home support. It didn't come as any surprise to us in terms of how difficult the game was over the course of the 90 minutes. Inverness coming into the game on the back of a decent run since Duncan Ferguson has took over. Very well organised team, get lots of bodies back behind the ball, very dangerous on the counter-attack, which is ultimately what led to the goal that they scored. But I think we had enough chances there in the first half especially. Ridgers has made, probably 7 or 8 saves throughout the course of the 90 minutes, and I would say 2 or 3 of them really, really good saves. I think we're just probably kicking ourselves a little bit that we didn't take more of the opportunities that came our way, but at the same time, can't fault the players. We knew today was going to be a bit of a frustrating game because of the way that Inverness play. Lots of bodies back, no space behind their back line, sitting quite deep. We tried to get at them in the wide areas and get as many crosses in the box as possible, and just probably didn't get enough first contacts on those crosses that came in. But I can't be too critical of the players. We've had a really good 8 days when you're considering the 3 fixtures that we've had. Obviously a great result here against Arbroath last Friday. Tuesday night away to Airdrie was always going to be a difficult one, but the boys went there and put in a very professional performance to take maximum points. And then today against a team that's in a little bit of form, a point is not a disaster. So 7 points from the last 3 games in 8 days, I think, is okay.
It did seem like there was quite a high concentration of chances in the first half rather than the second.
Yeah, I think that's again credit to Inverness. They changed their shape a little bit again in the second half. They were flipping between a back 5 at times in the first half to a back 4, and I think that maybe caught us out in the early part of the game because they haven't played that way since Duncan has came in. But I thought once we got to grips with that, I thought we were in relatively good control. I think over the course of the game we've had 8 or 9 shots on target, and I would say 3 or 4 of them are really good opportunities that on another day I would expect us to do better. I think Inverness have had 2 shots on target the whole day, but credit to them, their goal that they score is a really good counter-attack. I'm disappointed that we didn't have enough bodies back behind the ball to prevent that from happening. I did think we could have possibly killed the game over on the far side. Maybe a professional foul would have been needed for, but the boys showed great character, and I have to say the reaction of the supporters as well when we went behind, it was a really positive one. They really got behind the players, gave the lads a bit of a lift, and Kevin Hull popped up with a very important goal.
Given how long it has been since we conceded it, it's a credit to the guys on the park that they managed to find a solution so quickly after going behind.
Yeah, it's difficult when you play against a team, that sets up that way. I think back to the Dunfermline game in the early part of the season where, they got their noses in front and then just sat off the game and tried to protect their lead, and, Matty Cudjoe had to come up with a moment of brilliance in the 93rd minute. Today was quite similar. Inverness got that first goal. It gave them something to try and defend. But, we know the threat that we carry from set plays. We've got really good delivery coming into the box, and we've got an aggressive group of players that go and try and get on the end of it, and thankfully Kevin, a real bullet header to get us back level. And I think when we equalised, it definitely gave us a lift, and it gave the fans a real lift, and from that moment on we dominated the game. And I think for the last 20 minutes of that second half we pretty much camped in Inverness's territory, and we tried to get at them a bit more in the wide areas, tried to get a bit more quality coming in. And we just ran out of ideas in the end, unfortunately. But as I said, I can't criticise the players too much after it. 16 games now, I think that is, in all competitions, unbeaten. And, real good character shown to get back in the game to take a valuable point.
It's always a collective game, but it seemed like everything positive in the first half was coming through Glenn Middleton, and then the last chance of the 90 falls to him. There's not really much more he could have done to get that past Mark Ridgers.
No, look, I think Ridgers had a really good game. I think he was Inverness's best player on the day. I think with the big saves that he's made, the one from, I think it was Louis Moult from the corner, but the cross that comes in, he makes a really good point blank save, and then Scotty McMahon's disappointed not to have done better with the rebound. And then of course, Glenn's been a Glenn's been a massive player for us all season. You know, he's playing with real confidence and real belief at the moment, and you know, he's a fullback's nightmare with his pace and his power and the quality that he puts in, the service that he puts into the area for the strikers. So yeah, he's had another good afternoon today. He was unlucky with the chance at the end. He was sitting up quite high for him. I thought he'd done really well to get his knee over the ball and get a shot on target, and you know, had that got in, I think, you know, the place would have probably erupted. But I can't argue too much with the result. We're pleased enough with it, albeit, you know, not overly satisfied, because we expect to win here at home in front of our home supporters.
Obviously, one thing to mention, Jordan Tilson goes down with about 10 minutes to go. Obviously, Ross Docherty's also out, so it's maybe a slight concern that we're a bit light in midfield.
No, Tilly's just a bit more fatigued, to be honest. You know, hasn't played a great deal of football prior to coming into the club. You know, he's had a couple of starts for us during the time. You know, played, I think it was about 70 minutes at Airdrie on Tuesday night, and then obviously started the game here today, so it was a bit more fatigued than anything else. There's no injury there with Tilly. Doc, just a slight groin strain he picked up on Tuesday night. Again, it's not something that we're overly concerned with. We'll see how he is for the Dunfermline game, but if he's not available for that one, then I would like to think that he would be certainly available for the next one after that. So yeah, we're in a good place, Giannis. I think, you know, unbeaten in 16, scored an incredible amount of goals, only conceded 5, and sitting top of the table. You know, we can look at today as a missed opportunity to widen the gap between ourselves and Wraith, but you know, football's a difficult game. You don't get things all your own way, and you know, you have to work hard for it. And I think, you know, the players today put everything into the game. Just unfortunate in front of goal that we weren't as clinical as what we have been in recent weeks.